Today I want to talk about the role of the body in meditating. And as I've mentioned many times, Zazen is a whole body practice. It's not a practice that we do in our head, trying to figure out how to liberate ourselves. We have to totally plunge into the mystery of the body, to return to the wilderness of the body. We must be willing to step beyond all attachment to the past, to our self-images, and to all our beliefs. When he was enlightened, the Buddha proclaimed, "I, the great earth, and all beings everywhere are simultaneously enlightened." So let's try to connect with the great earth, which is no other than our body. So everybody here, and maybe most people at home, are sitting in couches or chairs. Just put your feet flat on the ground. When you breathe, see if you can feel the energy from the earth coming up through your legs into your hara and your chest. In other words, don't concentrate on the breath going through the nostrils, but see if you can feel it coming up from your feet, through your legs. The energy of your breath coming from the earth and connecting you with the earth. So let's just do that for a little bit. Just sit quietly and feel the energy coming from the earth through your legs. If you're sitting on a cushion, you can feel it coming up through your central channel, through your perineum, through the chakra in your bottom. Just visualize your breath coming from the earth through your feet, traveling through your legs, into your lower abdomen and your chest. And then when you exhale, feel the energy of your breath going back down through your legs and your feet into the earth so that you're connected with the earth. Can you feel it? I see some people nodding their head. So when you're doing slow kinhin particularly, you can breathe through one leg up into your lower abdomen, and then when you lift the next leg, set it down, breathe out into the earth. Then breathe back up into that same leg, and then breathe out to the next leg as you move it forward. And that way you'll be really connected with the earth as you're doing kinhin. Fast kinhin, it's more difficult. You just need to concentrate on your feet, the bottoms of your feet as you're walking. Even when you're breathing in Zazen, you can just feel the breath coming up from the earth to connect you with the earth. We'll do a few other exercises this morning. So our practice challenges us to question everything we think and feel about ourselves and our reality. All of our basic unquestioned beliefs and all of our assumptions and preconceptions, even the way we habitually see, hear, and sense the world. We must be willing to let go of everything we've believed. The French philosopher René Descartes said, if you would be a real seeker after truth, it's necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things. You know the three essentials of Zen practice: faith, determination, and doubt. Doubt is, as Descartes said, if you be a real seeker after truth, it's necessary that at least once in your life you doubt as far as possible all things. I call it questioning, or even a quest, since we're seeking something, whether it be truth or Buddha nature or true self. So letting go of our beliefs is one thing, but then what do we base our actions on? As we release our strong dependence on our conceptual mind, the wisdom of the body will begin to emerge. We just have to listen with non-judgmental awareness. To be fully embodied involves an unconditional presence to our life, and especially our emotional life. We need to learn to be present with all of our emotions without rejecting them, rationalizing them, or dramatizing them. Whether we experience pain or pleasure, just stay present. I've heard it said that feelings unite while thinking separates. The first step of our practice is to develop mental discipline. And the second step is to experience the unity of all things. Without getting in touch with our body and our feelings, that task would be impossible. The meditation of the Buddha and practice throughout history is deeply somatic. It's fully grounded in sensation, sensory experiences, feelings, emotions, and so on. Whatever the reasons are, in the West, meditation is often practiced as a kind of conceptual exercise. We often approach it as a way to fulfill yet another agenda or project, that of attempting to become spiritual according to whatever we happen to think being spiritual is. Ultimately, in our meditation practice, it's often our own somatic experience of reality that we're trying to override in an attempt to fulfill once again our ego's aim. So I want to do another exercise that expands on the one we just did. So we'll be breathing again from the earth through our legs and up into our hara and our chest, but then when we exhale, feel the energy go out through the top of your head, through the crown. And then like a small fountain, let the energy kind of trickle over your whole body and back into the earth. So we'll breathe it out into the hara, and as you exhale, instead of exhaling it back through the legs, exhale it up through the top of the head, to the crown, and then let it flow like a small fountain, all of the front of you, the back of you, the sides of you, down your thighs, calves, and back into the earth. So Master Hakuin used a technique similar to this when he developed a Zen sickness from meditating too hard without having any real equanimity. And he actually visualized a block of butter on his head and let it melt and flow over his body and take all of the sickness away and put it back into the earth. So breathing this way, breathing up from the earth, exhaling through the crown chakra, the crown on the top of the head, and letting all of the energy from the breath flow over our body back into the earth. The earth is huge. It can take all kinds of things. So you can release all of your tension into the earth. You can release all of your anxiety. You can release all of your apprehension, all of your discomfort, all of your anger, all of your annoyance, anything else that you're feeling. So let's try that. So again, let your feet settle on the earth and breathe up through the legs into the hara and chest, and then breathe out through the top of the head, through the crown, up through the central channel to the crown chakra, and then let the energy of your exhalation flow over your body and back into the earth, return to the earth, and let it take all of your obscurations and resistance with it. So let's do that for a couple of minutes. Just visualize the energy coming up from the earth and then exhaling out through the top of your head and flowing back into the earth. And just feel the energy of your breath flowing up from the earth through your body into your hara and your chest, and then when you exhale, like a little fountain out through the top of your crown chakra, and then let it all bathe over your whole body and take away all of your resistance and give it to the earth, which will gladly receive it. Are you able to feel that flow of energy? Yeah. Yeah. See some heads nodding. So when you're sitting in Zazen, you can breathe like that to really let yourself settle down and connect with the earth. And, and even if you're working on koans, when you feel you understand your koan, you can just sit and focus on your breath instead of just following your breath, the rise and fall of the hara. You can circulate the breath from the earth up through the top of your head and back into the earth. The cycle, exchanging energy. Actually, the words for exhalation and inhalation are also respiration and inspiration. And the root, the Latin root, is spirit. And the breath is considered the spirit. So what we're doing is we're circulating spiritual energy from the earth through our body and back into the earth, connecting with the earth. So as we bear witness to this flow of breath energy in our body, spiritual energy in our body, as we bear witness and practice non-judgmental awareness, we're able to abide for longer and longer periods of time within the fundamental emptiness of the body and the continual patterns of energy that arise within the body. As we learn to stay present with the body, it begins to reveal its wisdom to us. We begin to understand in a non-verbal way the energy that's occurring within us. And we discover what we see as imperatives to action. In this way, the spontaneity of the body becomes the source of our actions and engagements in the world, which is nothing less than expressions of the great compassion of a realized person. So in our meditation and in our lives, the body becomes a teacher, one that does not communicate in words, but tends to speak out of the shadows through sensations, feelings, images, and somatic memories. In time, we find ourselves knowing our world not so much through thinking about it, but by sensing it and feeling it. Not just as the body as a vehicle, but as the body as our essential self. So as our awareness develops, we begin to realize that our habitual and subliminal responses to somatic distress is an unconscious or barely conscious pattern of freezing. We're holding on for all we're worth, fearful and paranoid, tensing our bodies so we won't have to feel. We begin to realize that we've been walling off all this discomfort for years, decades, and even our whole life. So maybe when we did the exercise, the first one and the second one, of feeling the breath coming up from our feet through our legs, you are connecting with the surface of the earth. Now let's try and connect to the interior of the earth as we breathe up through our feet and legs. Instead of visualizing just the surface of the earth, try to connect a few feet below the surface. So you're going into the interior of the earth, not just on the exterior of the earth. Go deeper into the earth. Maybe you can go 10 feet, maybe 50 feet, maybe 100 feet. So what's to stop you from going 1,000 feet into the center of the earth? So the center of the earth is 7,000 miles. When you're breathing, connect with the whole earth. The molten interior, the mantle, the crust, all of the 14ers in Colorado, and feel the whole energy enter your feet and your legs and your body. Then you can exhale it through the top of your head or back through your legs, whatever feels right for you. So as I've mentioned many, many times, Dogen summarized our practice by saying to study Zen is to study the self. And to study the self is to forget the self. That self is fully embodied. It's not a concept in our head. As long as our body is holding tight, we can't forget the self. When we first start to practice, it's as if we are on the outside looking at our tension. Next, as we look more closely and study more closely, we can feel a boundary between us and the tension. And we find the boundaries dissolving, and our awareness is actually dissolving into the tension itself so that we're on the inside. And we realize we're the ones that are holding the tension. So don't back off. Move through it and release it. So the identification of tension and its release is a leap into the unknown, because our thinking mind cannot go for that ride. When we leap, we just find ourselves there, naked and stripped of any way to conceptualize who we are. In the moment of release, it is as if this intolerable suffocation has suddenly disappeared. Abruptly, we experience ourselves as nothing but empty space, with no one commenting or judging. So as we continue this process of discovery, it begins to dawn on us that the body has an agenda of its own that it wants us to follow. That's the wisdom of the body. If we're able to perceive its wisdom, the body is the ultimate teacher, the trusted guide on this journey. So, so-called realization or enlightenment involves learning how to live in the body in a non-conceptual way, trusting what the body knows and communicates in an immediate way. So direct experience unmediated by concepts is held to be the primary and by far the most important message of knowledge. So conceptual abstractions constantly need correction and reformulation in light of unfolding experience. This is why in Buddhism, conceptual versions of reality are called dreams in relation to the actual immediate, concrete fullness of reality. These dreams have no substance. So the body itself is the unending fount of the water of life. The body is intelligent. The body's knowing operates completely outside of and beyond the realm of our very limited conscious ego awareness and its desire for control. So amazingly, our lives are unfolding rather completely independently of our own personal issues, our personal sense of self, with its various hopes and fears, its ambitions and agendas. According to the Buddhist scripture, the Buddha discovered and said, "From the summit of the world downward, I can detect no self anywhere." He understood that all struggles that make up samsaric experience, all the presupposing of a self that needs to be protected and maintained, are groundless, fruitless, without reality. So our fear of falling apart is just a fear of the falling apart of what we think we are, what we assume we used to be or we need to be. It's the falling away of our self-imposed limitations. So we are giving birth to ourselves. And birth does not occur without pain and surrender. We're starting to wake up and feel our own life fully after all these years. So let's end with one more exercise. You've connected with the solid earth, but the great earth also includes the atmosphere. Just a little while ago, we were serenaded by some birds outside the Zen Center. And they're all part of the great earth. So now, instead of breathing through our feet in the earth, let's breathe through all of the pores of our skin. When you inhale, feel the energy enter your body from all directions, not just from the bottom, from the sides, the right side, the left side, the front, the back, the top. So all the energy of the solid earth, the atmosphere, and above our heads, the ionosphere, deep space, entering our body through the thousands of pores. And then when we exhale, it all go out again. Almost like we're a membrane or a balloon that when we breathe in, we're connecting with everything and expanding. And then when we exhale, we're deflating. So feel the energy come in from all directions, not just from the feet. So let's practice that for a few minutes. See if you can feel the pulse of the whole earth. And eventually our solar system and our galaxy. As we continue to connect with the great earth, little by little, our own body merges with the great earth. And our body becomes a great earth. That's why the Buddha said, I and the great earth and all beings everywhere are simultaneously enlightened. There's no separation. No gap. As we realize this, of course, we don't want to injure the earth or any of its beings or plants or landscape or water or air. The same thing with others. That's what the Sangha means, huh? Harmonious. The virtue of the Sangha is harmony. So it's this connection as we're breathing. Our body is also including those sitting next to us in the room, in the next house, in the community, in the neighboring communities. So this breath is our life. And this life is boundless. So please take care of it. These exercises might be useful to you when you're meditating or even when you're engaged in your daily life. So please do your best. We have another full day, so continue with your practice. And let go of all of these extraneous thoughts and let your energy sink down into your body. Yeah. Turn the light inward and manifest yourself as this boundless life.